You know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't happen.
Steve's always been cocky. Always. All the conversations me, him, Wendy used to have on set, it's the same shit.
I feel like, Eddie Murphy wouldn't be Eddie without Richard.
Well, I think a lot of them try to even look like Richard.
Right.
A lot of them cats, Steve Harvey, Tim Reed, they all try to look like Richard Pryor.
Apparently, when it comes to Steve Harvey, it's not all smiles. The guy might be the king of morning shows and comedy stages, but if the rumors are true, behind the scenes, there's a whole other vibe going on.
Steve Harvey, I hear y'all take vacations together on the yacht or something.
Well, we get on the boat with Magic and Cookie. Steve and Marjorie have their own boat.
From awkward run-ins to jaw-dropping demands, celebrities are now spilling the tea on their bizarre encounters with Family Feud host Steve Harvey, painting a picture that's anything but squeaky clean. But what's really turning heads is Harvey's puzzling connection to Diddy, a man no stranger to controversy himself. Some are beginning to wonder Diddy as his guilty friend.
It's on you, nephew. Take that top card. When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
Is Steve Harvey just a misunderstood genius? Or is there something off about the way he handles people when the cameras aren't rolling? A-list stars have some choice words about moments that were weird, uncomfortable, and downright shocking. This is the side of Steve that nobody talks about, until now. Katt's reveal about his old idol might catch some folks off guard, but what he dropped next is even wilder. He's saying Steve Harvey allegedly made a deal with Hollywood involving his soul.
I think Steve Harvey's some stand-up motherfucking man. No, motherfucker, he kissed this old girl who owned TV One. He used to kiss her. That's how he had the radio.
Rumors have been flying for a while now that Katt Williams got blacklisted from the industry, which makes people wonder why he never hit the same level of success as someone like Steve Harvey. What's interesting is that Katt and Harvey have had beef for over a decade, hinting that there might be a deeper reason behind their falling out.
Well, to be honest with you, Frankie, I didn't know nothing about this concept. When the promoter told me about it in October, I shot it down. Because that ain't how I've ever promoted a show.
Their feud goes all the way back to December 2008, when Katt Williams publicly called out Steve Harvey before a Christmas show. That moment kicked off a beef that's been simmering for over a decade. It's worth noting that both Katt and Steve have had their fair share of clashes with other comedians, so this was just another chapter in their ongoing drama. Even one internet user wrote, "This is why you should never idolize a celebrity. Their image is a marketed image." Another one added, "Katt Williams knows what's going on. He reminds me of Dick Gregory. He tells you things, and if you have any sense, you can figure it out yourself." The whole beef started when Katt Williams threw down a public challenge, saying he could outshine Steve Harvey and take the comedy crown at a New Year's Eve show where they were both set to perform. That bold move set the stage for the feud that's been dragging on ever since.
I was on the Steve Harvey show, and Steve Harvey, who is going to call in at 5:45 and get the record straight.
Jamie Foxx ended up getting pulled into the mix too. While hosting his radio show, Fox aired a clip of Katt Williams trash-talking Steve Harvey, which likely added more fuel to the fire. With a big comedy showdown on the horizon, Katt didn't hold back. He even apologized in advance, hinting that the comedy game was about to change. He said, "I want to apologize for what's gonna happen, but the second you hit that stage, just know it's your last time as the king of comedy. Water finds its level, playboy. You can't stop it. Hope you're ready and got a whole squad of writers, 6 or 7 at least." Steve Harvey ended up calling into the radio show, clearly confused by the whole situation. With Fox now in the mix, the feud between Katt and Harvey got even messier.
I've always been on tour with some real monsters, man. I toured with the Kings. I've been on stage with Sid, DL, and Bernie Mac at the same time.
Steve Harvey is known for being a dedicated family man who puts his loved ones first. But Katt Williams isn't buying it. He's called Harvey a fraud, claiming he's been hiding his true self behind a carefully crafted image for years. Katt also suggests that not everyone sees Steve's comedy skills the same way, which adds more layers to their messy relationship and complicates how people view Harvey's public persona.
You have been the king of comedy as long as we've had one. Matter of fact, the whole phrase, king of comedy, can be attributed that that you get off stage.
Katt Williams isn't just known for his comedy chops. He's also built a reputation as a whistleblower in Hollywood. He's never been shy about speaking up, calling out controversies, and shedding light on things the industry usually keeps under wraps. His bold, no-filter approach has made him a standout voice, tackling issues most people wouldn't dare touch.
Doing drugs in the ATL to at least excuse himself, go to the bathroom or some shit.
According to Katt Williams, Steve Harvey's public image isn't as squeaky clean as it might seem. Depending on who you ask, Harvey is either hailed as one of the funniest guys around or seen as a celebrity with a sketchy reputation. Katt has even claimed that Harvey has some skeletons in his closet, including rumors about how he treats his staff. There have been persistent rumors about Harvey being tough on his team, and things got more heated when his talk show moved to LA. He allegedly sent out a controversial memo laying down strict rules for his staff, demands more commonly seen on celebrity tour riders. These rumors only added to the tension between Katt and Harvey, fueling their ongoing feud.
And I could not find a way to walk from the stage to my dressing room, to sit in my makeup chair, to walk from my dressing room to the stage.
In the leaked memo, Steve Harvey wrote, "My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who has the intent to see or speak to me. I want all the ambushing to stop now. That includes TV staff. You must schedule an appointment. I have been taken advantage of by my lenient policy in the past. This ends now. No more. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair unless I ask to speak with you directly. Either knock or use the doorbell." Harvey later defended the memo, saying it was just his way of carving out more personal time during the day. He explained that it came from frustrations over what he saw as an overly relaxed open-door policy back when the show was based in Chicago. A few days after the leak, he spoke with Entertainment Tonight and admitted, "Look, man, I'm in my makeup chair. They walk in the room. I'm having lunch. They walk in. They don't knock. I'm in the hallway, and people are ambushing me with friends, asking for autographs and favors. I just said, hold up. In hindsight, yeah, I probably could have handled it differently." Katt Williams seems to have some solid reasons for his beef with Steve Harvey. Back in November 2015, the Think Like a Man author found himself in hot water with a lawsuit for allegedly bailing on a deal to lease a private jet. This was after more than $400,000 worth of renovations had already been started, reportedly at Harvey's request. According to TMZ, those upgrades included custom carpets, reworking the interior from 16 seats to 14 custom-designed seats, and new upper and lower cabin side walls.
According to a private jet company, he did not pay the bill.
This is a fabulous story.
After they customized the hell out of the thing for him.
Katt Williams didn't hold back when he accused Steve Harvey of lifting the premise for his sitcom from comedian Mark Curry. Remember, Curry played teacher Mark Cooper on Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, which started back in 1992. Katt said, "The same Steve that went to watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve's got a sitcom where he's the principal and wears a suit." Williams also took shots at Harvey's acting chops, calling out his claim that he wasn't interested in a film career. Katt fired back, "You couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asked for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and looks like Mr. Potato Head. Ain't none. You gotta have range." During an appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast, Katt criticized fellow comedians Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley, saying they spread falsehoods about him and banded together like a gang. He pointed out, "For 30 years they're a group. These aren't three random guys. All these dudes are co-entwined and they share secrets, and this is the age of truth." Katt's sentiments found support from many artists, particularly Ed Lover, who backed Katt's claims regarding Steve Harvey and his past issues with Bernie Mac. Ed released a new episode of his Simon's Son podcast, echoing Williams' narrative as discussed on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Williams goes on to say that he was supposed to be one of the kings of comedy, that they approached him after Bernie passed. Ed Lover shared during the episode, but he didn't want to join the Kings of Comedy tour because of how Steve Harvey treated Bernie Mac. He has a lot of respect for Bernie. Ed, who had a close friendship with Bernie until his passing, added, "The stuff that Katt Williams said about Steve Harvey trying to get Bernie's role in Ocean's 11? Bernie told me that himself." He concluded, "I believe Bernie Mac when he said Steve Harvey hated on him." So Ed Lover's comments lend weight to Katt's claims about Steve and the other Hollywood bigwigs. There have also been reports suggesting that Bernie was actively trying to expose some unethical practices in Hollywood. New revelations indicate that he might have been intentionally sidelined by powerful figures in the industry. It wasn't just his unwillingness to play by the do anything for fame and fortune rule that made him a target. It was also his vocal criticism of a questionable agenda pushed by some of his peers. Bernie's readiness to call out and stand against this agenda likely put him in a precarious position within the entertainment world.
Nevertheless, Bernie Mac was introduced to the Clone Lab. They take you there. They took him there. They let him see the fights.
It seems that way. After gaining a deeper understanding of Hollywood's inner workings, Bernie Mac decided to use his comedy as a platform to share the story of a solitary black man navigating the industry. His routine started tackling serious topics like racism and the harmful stereotypes surrounding black people in entertainment. This shows he was dedicated to using his talent to highlight these crucial issues, even if it meant going against the grain. Now, the late John Witherspoon, a comedic legend known for his blunt honesty, has also put Steve Harvey in the hot seat with some jaw-dropping claims. Witherspoon suggested that Harvey's admiration for Richard Pryor might have crossed some serious lines, hinting at a deeper controversy that many might not expect.
Keep in the back, give him some lines, give him this and give him ideas. He did that for 6 months, would not fail.
According to Witherspoon, Harvey didn't just admire Pryor's comedic talent. He allegedly had a more questionable fascination with the legendary funny man's sexuality. Could it be that Steve Harvey, the beloved host and self-proclaimed family man, had some hidden motives when it came to Pryor? This revelation raises some serious eyebrows and suggests there's more beneath the surface of their relationship than anyone realized.
He'd be there every night. He said, Spoon, come up here and hang with me. So I go over there with him. And he did it.
Witherspoon's revelations paint a troubling picture of Harvey as someone who might have leveraged his celebrity status to take advantage of Pryor's vulnerabilities. The rumor mill is buzzing, leaving fans questioning whether Harvey's public persona is just a facade hiding a darker, more sinister side. This kind of talk raises serious concerns about the complexities of relationships in Hollywood and makes you wonder what other secrets might be lurking behind the glitz and glamour.
I said, y'all, I'm trying to be Richard Pryor, all of them. And they got over by it.
In the flashy world of comedy, it's pretty normal for new comedians to look up to the big names who came before them. But here's some juicy gossip about Steve Harvey. Rumor has it his admiration for Richard Pryor might have gone a bit too far. There are whispers that Harvey's feelings for Pryor weren't just about respect, they might have been romantic.
The first night I met Richard Pryor at the ABC Comedy Awards. That was the first, when I met him, when I got through hugging him and we talked, I went behind the bar, I cried for 20 minutes.
So what's the story? People started noticing how Harvey and Pryor had a lot in common after an industry insider mentioned that Harvey was so in awe of Pryor, he basically wanted to become him. John Witherspoon mentioned in an interview that Steve Harvey, along with a few other comedians, actually tried to look like Richard Pryor on purpose. From the start, it was pretty clear that Steve Harvey had a big crush on Richard Pryor and even wanted to be like him. Even though both are pros in their own right, you could really see how similar their jokes were. Sometimes, if you heard them tell the same joke, it'd be hard to tell who said it first. A few years back, Richard Pryor talked about how white folks were shocked by the way black people talked, saying it seemed pretty unconventional to them.
When they find out talk other than oh, they got scared to death. You know, like one day somebody said, talk. Well, I've been wanting to tell you something. I beg your pardon?
Interestingly, not long after Pryor's interview got more attention, Steve Harvey told a joke that was really similar, but with his own twist on the delivery.
You know how many ways we got to say hello? It'll take us 5-6 pages. Yeah. Hey, now! What up? Hey, look here!
Weird, right? Anyway, aside from both comedians having a knack for making people laugh, it seems like Steve Harvey might have picked up a few other traits from Richard Pryor. Apparently, Harvey admired Pryor so much that he might have even modeled his look and style after him. Meeting Pryor in person only deepened Harvey's admiration. While many celebrity encounters with idols can end in disappointment, that wasn't the case for Steve. He got to meet his comedy hero, Richard Pryor, and it was a memorable experience with no bad vibes. While some fans might forget that Steve Harvey started out as a stand-up comedian before hitting it big in film and TV, you can definitely see how his early humor and sharp punchlines were influenced by the legendary Richard Pryor.
When I first met Richard Pryor, I have the picture of the day I met him. It was at the ABC Comedy Awards in 1995.
The comedian took to his Instagram stories to share his experience meeting his comedy hero, saying, "This lady said, 'Steve, do you know who you're standing in front of?' I said, 'No, who?' She said, 'Turn around.' I turned around and it was Richard Pryor. I bent over, shook his hand. He said, 'I heard a lot about you.' A sick told me, 'You pretty funny.' I said, 'I love you, man, I thank you.' Because he was the whole reason I got in comedy, you know? I got through talking with him. The ABC Comedy Awards was in this huge hangar they had decorated. I went behind the bar, cried for 20 minutes. Steve Harvey's story about meeting Richard Pryor gives a peek into just how much impact the late comedian and Saint Crazy actor had on other comedians. On his website, Steve even shared that when they met, Pryor playfully poked him in the behind with a knife. He said, "The first time I met Richard Pryor, he poked me in my A with the butt end of a butter knife. He said, 'You just gonna stand your A in my face?' Many people think that incident might have been Pryor's way of making a move on Steve. Anyway, one person who confirmed that Richard Pryor was involved in same-sex relationships was his wife Jennifer Pryor. Many controversies started to lurk for Richard's controversies and mainly his alleged relationship with Marlon Brando, which was reportedly later confirmed by Lee also.
Did he f*** everybody, men and women?
Oh yeah, he banged everybody.
He f***ed everybody.
Yeah, and then it came out he was banging the guy with the big in Cuba.
That's right.
For years, Steve Harvey has been synonymous with family values, wholesome comedy, and relationship advice. But behind that polished persona, whispers about his controlling behavior, power plays, and connections to Hollywood's upper echelon have always lurked just beneath the surface.
TD Jakes have slept with multiple men at Diddy's parties and abroad, and they refer to him as being a power bottom.
Fans were completely blindsided by Steve Harvey, and people have been giving him the side-eye for a minute now. The rumors about him allegedly being involved in introducing his daughter Lori to Diddy after Kim Porter's death really turned heads. But now, it's not just about Lori. There's chatter that Steve might have been way more involved in the situation than anyone thought. Behind that polished public image, could there be a darker twist to the whole story?
I'm very much in a space right now where I'm not doing anything that's going to compromise my peace and happiness.
Monique also didn't hold back when discussing her experiences with Steve Harvey. In a heated interview, she claimed that he was one of the people who discouraged her from speaking out about her grievances in the entertainment industry. She accused him of being a coon for Hollywood and suggested that he was more concerned with maintaining his image than supporting fellow artists. Steve replied saying that he could care less what she has to say. "Let me just open by saying I could care less than about what you think about me because clearly, I'm not your problem. And you know what? Anyone who knows me, who really knows me, can't even make that statement." Wendy Williams, known for her no-holds-barred approach to celebrity gossip, has made some pointed remarks about Steve on her show. She claimed that his reputation for being friendly is more of a facade. In a particularly spicy episode, she recounted a story where Steve allegedly made her feel uncomfortable during a brief interaction, insinuating that he was more interested in his own spotlight than in genuinely connecting with people. Wendy's commentary ignited discussions about authenticity in the celebrity world and whether personalities like Steve are just playing a part. One person on the internet said, "Steve and all the others, cowards. We stands with Monique. She should be salty, they're shady, messed up individuals." Another one added, "Not understanding why this is still an issue. I think Steve has been dealing with his karma." He also said he used to be greedy. "I always wondered how he got his lineup so perfect." Then came the jaw-dropping arrest of Diddy in Manhattan, which rocked the entertainment world to its core. Federal agents swooped in and took the music mogul into custody on some pretty serious charges: racketeering, conspiracy, and exploitation. Given that Diddy is such a major player in music, fashion, TV, and nightlife, this arrest has completely shattered the polished image of the powerhouse mogul everyone thought they knew.
Because I'm so quiet, there's been so many stories that have been made up about me. Like I've seen stories about me being like fully in love with somebody and we have like this whole relationship.
According to these bizarre experiences celebrities have had with Steve Harvey, one thing becomes painfully clear. There's a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to this charming host. While he's built an empire on charisma and laughter, the whispers of discontent and controversy surrounding him hint at a more cutthroat side. From questionable interactions with fellow stars to the dubious choices made for the sake of ratings and fame, it raises the unsettling question: how far is Steve willing to go to secure his power, fame, and fortune? The stories shared by celebrities paint a picture of a man who might prioritize his ascent over genuine connections, all while maintaining that signature smile.